My daughter's wedding came and went without an invitation for me, not even a back row seat. Yet, when the honeymoon arrived, she and her new husband audaciously requested the keys to my beach house. It was then I realized that if they wanted to cut me out of their new life, I would ensure they understood the true feeling of such exclusion. If you've ever experienced being underestimated, disrespected, or simply yearned for a taste of poetic justice, subscribe now, like this video, and share your own tales of revenge in the comments. Trust me, today's story will ignite that powerful surge of vindication within you. Let's begin. I never imagined I'd be the kind of parent excluded from my own child's wedding. You spend decades raising someone, teaching them right from wrong, sacrificing sleep, money, and time only to find yourself erased from one of the biggest milestones of their life. That was me, a mother sitting in silence, staring at a wedding invitation that never came. Instead, I found out through distant relatives that my daughter had walked down the aisle without me there to see it. No photos sent, no call, not even a text. At first, I thought maybe I had done something unforgivable. My heart raced, my palms went clammy, and I replayed every argument we ever had. I remembered late nights helping her with homework, her first heartbreak, the times I stayed up sewing costumes for school plays, and still, she decided I wasn't good enough to be invited. The betrayal hit like a physical blow. It wasn't just sadness, it was humiliation. Family members quietly asked me why I hadn't been there. Some looked at me like maybe I was the problem. Imagine being painted as the villain in your own child's story. But the story didn't end there. About a week after the wedding, I got a call. It was my daughter. For a moment, my heart leapt. I thought maybe it was an apology. Maybe she realized she'd gone too far. No, she wasn't calling to make amends. She was calling to ask for something. Mom. Hey, so we're planning our honeymoon, and we were thinking of using your beach house. It had saved us so much money, and it's the perfect spot. You don't mind, right? Her voice, cheerful and entitled, ignored the unspoken history between us. I gripped the phone, knuckles white, a knot of anger and disbelief tightening in my chest. The audacity was breathtaking. No wedding invitation, no acknowledgement of the pain she'd caused, and now, suddenly, I was a convenience. The urge to scream, to demand how she could possibly think this was acceptable, was overwhelming, but a colder, sharper sensation settled within me instead. Clarity. If she wanted to exclude me from her wedding, fine. If she wanted to pretend I, her mother, didn't exist, that was also fine. But she would soon understand the true meaning of living without me. That night, I sat down at the kitchen table and wrote out my plan. Revenge didn't need to be loud, it just needed to be precise. The beach house wasn't just any property, it was my sanctuary, a little two-story cottage by the ocean with sun-bleached wood, big glass windows, and the sound of waves crashing just outside. I had worked for decades to afford it. Every plank and piece of furniture held memories. It was mine, and it would never be theirs. The next morning, I called her back. "Oh, sweetheart," I said, layering sugar over my voice. "The beach house won't be available. In fact, it's already booked." She paused, confused. "Booked? But it's your house." "Yes," I replied smoothly, "and I just decided to rent it out." A lovely couple already put down a deposit for those exact weeks. That was a lie. Of course, nobody had rented it yet. But the look of entitlement crumbling off her face, even though I couldn't see it, I could feel it through. The silence on the phone was worth it. "What, Mom? Seriously, we need this. We already told people we'd be staying there." Her tone shifted from cheerful to demanding, but I held firm. "I'm sorry," I said, feigning regret. "If I'm not important enough to be at your wedding, then my house isn't important enough for your honeymoon. I'm sure you'll find something else." The silence was heavy. Then she exploded. Accusations, insults, attempts at guilt-tripping. She even claimed I was ruining her marriage before it began. But here's the thing. When someone disrespects you so thoroughly, when they write you out of their story until it's convenient to include you, nothing they say holds weight anymore. I hung up, and for the first time since hearing I wasn't invited to her wedding, I felt peace later. I actually did list the beach house as a rental. A nice older couple. Ended up booking it for the exact week my daughter had wanted when she found out through mutual friends that someone else was living it up in her honeymoon spot. She was furious, and me, I was sitting on my porch, sipping wine, watching the ocean, and smiling because, here's the truth, boundaries are not cruelty. Sometimes the sweetest revenge isn't screaming or fighting. It's simply refusing to be used. The best part wasn't even denying her the house. It was reclaiming my power. She tried to make me disappear, but I reminded her that I wouldn't be erased and then conveniently brought back. Her phone tantrum proved it. She was the one feeling excluded, unwanted, and powerless. It was a poetic moment, as she tasted the exact pain she had inflicted on me. That was justice. Sometimes revenge isn't about retaliation. It's about refusing to be exploited again. It's about drawing a line, standing firm, and letting others face the consequences of their own choices. And let me tell you, sipping wine on your porch with the sound of crashing waves tastes a whole lot like freedom. So what do you think was I justified in turning down my daughter's request? Or would you have given her the house? Anyway, drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you love stories where justice is served with a side of poetic irony, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Until next time, stay sharp and stay true to yourself.